Hey guys, how is everything? Hope we are well. Today I thought to share with us 5 overnight jobs in product logistics and transportation. These are some careers or job opportunities we can pick up, and this could come as part-time or full-time just to boost up our income or fit into our lifestyle. Now, a little breakdown on what product logistics and transportation entails. These two industries, the product logistics and transportation, basically involve moving human beings, products or services from where they are to where they need to be. I give you an example: retail stores, airline companies, cargo and shipping companies all work with human beings and products, and usually there are people in charge of moving these items. You see, at night, for example, highways, the motorways, that is when you mainly see truck drivers almost in every part of the world. These logistics activity happen at night. So let us look at 5 jobs in this industry that we could probably incorporate in our work schedule or lifestyle, either as part-time or full-time employment. Also, for every of these careers I'll be mentioning, I'll also leave on the screen how much one could potentially earn based on job site salary information. So the first on the list are air traffic controllers. An air traffic controller is required to possess the skill of multitasking. This one is very important. Attention to detail, concentration and problem solving and detecting ability, because the air traffic controller is working and directing pilots on air from when they are to take off to landing. The person is helping pilots navigate the weather, like direct them. I do not have their professional words, but direct them from ground with their positioning and landing during bad weather can be a whole lot to handle, both for the pilot and the air traffic controller. Also during medical emergencies and in cases of mechanical issues. These are some of the major jobs an air traffic controller has to do. And given that most airports work 24/7, the air traffic controller working at night will always be in job, will never actually run out of shifts. The next overnight job in this industry are truck drivers. I tell you, I know people. I was watching a YouTube program the other day where a guy mentioned that he is a truck driver in the USA. As a matter of fact, this guy said they earn up to £20,000, the $20,000 a month. It got me like, I had to research deeper into it. That was even part of the reason why I added it. It gave me insights to this content I'm creating. I had to infuse it. Truck drivers are earning large. Here in the UK, for example, at night, you see the trucks. That is when they convey goods. Product logistics happen mostly at night. And some of these drivers have to travel from state to state. They could travel from, this is England for example, they could be traveling from Wales to England to Scotland, commuting items. And given how demanding in terms of how many hours these people will have to spend on the road driving, their job come highly rewarding. Part of the requirement you need to have to be able to do this job is having your commercial driver's license, and probably from time to time you might need to take maybe drug tests by regulatory bodies, mainly for safety. And given the nature of the job, you very likely might be spending days, weeks, running into probably a month or so being on the road away from family and home. But other than that, this job is extremely rewarding. The money is fat. This takes us automatically to the third one, which is shipping and receiving clerk. So when these truck drivers have delivered items, there obviously has to be someone to receive and check that the items that are delivered are the items that are expected in the right quantity and in the right package. The shipping and receiving clerk obviously needs good organizational skills and attention to details, because unloading items, especially when you're in charge of receiving night delivery, there is expectations, right? There are things that the company you're working for has stipulated to be delivered for the night. you as the receiving clerk should make sure everything tallies. What is delivered is what is expected, and you should also be ready to weigh items where necessary, prepare invoice, shipping labels, and every other thing that comes with packaging goods and services. Then this connects next to the next job, which is merchandise stocker. So the job of a merchandise stocker involves putting together these items on the shelf for the next day. So while you're working overnight, the duty of this person is to ensure all of the items that are going to be sold and needed by customers the next day are visible, are clear enough, are pushed out in such a way that when customers come, they'll be able to easily access what they've come into the stores to buy. Part of what this person is doing is getting items out of the warehouse, the ones that have been delivered, or the stock room, to shelves where customers can easily access them. This person is also checking for expired items in order to label it for sales, because normally when you go to the stores, you see those items, there are some items that are brought out and kept separately on reduced price away from more recent items. So this is the job of the overnight merchandise stocker. They ensure over the night all of these activities are done and set ready for the next business day. And trust me, for this job you do not need any special skill other than, of course, attention to detail and good with organization. No special degree required. You don't even need to have a degree. Anybody, as a matter of fact, can do this job. And lastly, are taxi drivers. Like, you need to know your area, or the area at least to a reasonable extent, or at least basically be able to drive well, be a good driver, and be able to understand and use a sat navigator, because driving at night or driving overnight can be demanding, especially if you're not very experienced with driving or you're not familiar with the area. So if you have good experience with driving, I believe you'll be able to manage any driving situation. I use myself for example, that's why I know that point. Even if I've never been to an area, the fact that at least I'm reasonably good with my driving, I'm able to navigate any area no matter what time of day it is. So working as an overnight taxi driver can be very rewarding in the sense that your customers, especially if you're working at the airport, if you're commuting people who are traveling, who are coming in and out of the country 24/7, these people just need help. Imagine yourself when you've just arrived the country, for example, maybe on holiday or business. You just want the next available commute to take you down to your hotel room or your destination. That at times, no matter how much they mention, you don't even want to bargain much. You're like, oh yeah, okay, no problem, let's just go. So these are the reasons why an overnight taxi driver is a rich person. Whether they're doing it part-time or full-time, this job is very rewarding. So primarily what you need is some special driver's license to be a taxi driver according to the driving laws in the city you live in. In the UK here, for example, I believe the driver's license of taxi drivers are not just the basic one. They should have, like, I think they take a course to be able to qualify to get a special driver's license to be a taxi driver, especially given that you are going to be driving around the clock, like in this case an overnight taxi driver. There are also other overnight jobs in other sectors and walks of life. Some of them are already recorded here on this channel, so feel free to check them out in case you'll be interested in it. And I hope this particular one, helped you somehow, give you some insight into some overnight careers in product logistics and transportation. You just might have the skill already, or you might just be considering and want to incorporate in your work life. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.